Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Soulevision. Hey, how you doing? Hi, nice to meet you. Shaking hands. How are you this week? How have you been doing? I hope your week has been going well. My week has been going well. Trying to find time is always my dilemma, but we make it every week. Somehow, some way. What's new? Got new chairs. So I can recline and relax a little bit and be a little, more relaxed, I guess you could say. This is too relaxed right here, but like maybe if I don't want to hit the mic and I have cords around me, but if I'm like right here, this might be good. I'm not sure. I'm not even in the middle. It needs to be right in the middle of these pictures. Anywho, got new chairs. Hubby ordered new chairs, so he has a new office chair. We have the same chair. He built my chair. I built his chair, blah, blah, blah. I was using the chair that was in the living room, and I guess he was tired of seeing me use that chair and to see that chair not be where it's supposed to be. So he ordered chairs. Exciting. Gotta love it. But I hope your week has been going well. Last week's video was posted in the evening time or afternoon. What is considered evening? 6 p.m. So I guess afternoon before evening, like 4:30 is when I post it. And YouTube seems to like it a little more. Still got to work on the audio and see when is the best time to do that. If you want to chime in, then chime in. You can't really chime in on the audio, but you can come to YouTube to give your 2 cents. I don't know if you want to. Whatever. Anyway, let's get right into it with the affirmations. If you're new here, I need some water. I just hopped on. It's Sunday night, and I told myself last week to film 2 episodes, and did that happen? No. But I was gonna just chill on the couch and do nothing anyways, so I decided to come on here. Hopefully I remember the points that I had last week, because I had some really good things that I think I wanted to talk about. But without further ado, let's get into these affirmations. I replace my anger with understanding and compassion. I release the past and live fully in the present moment. All my problems have a solution. With every breath out, I release stress in my body. I breathe deeply, exercise regularly, and feed only good, nutritious foods to my body. Gotta work on that part. I'm surrounded by people who encourage and support healthy choices. My world is a peaceful, loving, and joy-filled place to live. I sow the seeds of peace wherever I go. Round of applause for those affirmations. Good. Throat is dry. So, the thing that has been on my mind lately is something I saw. Well, part of it was jogged by something I saw, or triggered by something I saw on TikTok. But I'm not going to tell y'all that yet. I'm going to talk about myself, because there's certain things that I do that gets on my own entire nerves. And I guess we're just going to talk about procrastination. Okay? When I say procrastination, and when I'm talking about myself, I'm going to wrap myself out, because I know in my head I already do all this stuff, but like to say it out loud, I feel like I'm not the only person that goes through this. So boom. I know that I procrastinate on a lot of things. There's certain things that I just do right then and there, but there's a lot of things that I procrastinate on, and I know that in my head it has to be done. But I still distract myself with other things on purpose in order to not get those things done. And then am stressing and scrambling at the end, or like closer to a said deadline, when I could have just taken my time and paced it out, right? But my problem is, I know logically, before I go to tackle something, I plan it out to where I wouldn't have to rush, so where I can take my time and do things in a timely fashion and still have the mental space to be able to complete those tasks in a quality way, in a quality manner of quality. I don't know. But because I know that I hate that feeling of scrambling. I hate the feeling of being stressed out, being anxious. I just hate all of that, but I always end up there no matter what. And the thing that I saw is, let me go back. I get on my nerves because I know that I don't like that feeling, but then I always set myself up to be in that feeling, even though I technically prepared myself. I just didn't stay committed to the plan. And it happens so much and it gets on my nerves. But the thing I saw on TikTok said that if you procrastinate, you find yourself distracting yourself from doing things that you know that you need to do. The question that their therapist asked them was, were you only acknowledged when you did good things? Like if you did very grand things versus... Hey y'all, it's me from editing. Yes, in that TikTok, he said that if you were only acknowledged for doing good, but I didn't take it that way. I internalized it as if you were only acknowledged or penalized when you were doing bad, or if you fall short of what you're expected to do. That's how I took it. So that's how I'm going to explain it further in here. Yes, he said something else, but it triggered something in me, which is what I just said. And I just had to jump in here and correct it because I don't want nothing false going out. I don't agree with that TikTok, but it did trigger that thought of how my people pleasing started. Cool? Capiche? Capiche. Because I feel like if you only got acknowledged when you did great or you did good, that's a good job. You just don't know how to fail. And that's totally different. Okay? On the same page? Cool. Love ya. Which is AKA, for me, how I took it is, were you trained to be a people pleaser? And it was like, yeah, well, that's why you procrastinate. It's just that fear of, it's like, okay, I took it two ways. The first way I'm going to say is only because that's what I remember right now. And that second thing, hopefully I remember it once I get there. But the first thing is for someone that procrastinates a lot, right? There's a cycle that I'm going to explain right now. But for someone that procrastinates a lot and they're always at the point of like scrambling and doing like whatever they can in a certain time frame that they jam themselves into because they procrastinated so long, when it does end up being good and people like it and people congratulate it, it feeds their imposter syndrome, right? Because it's like, I didn't even try that hard. I didn't do the best that I could do because I was rushing. So it's just like, you're making me feel like more and more of an imposter, which makes me want to procrastinate more. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? So procrastination, people pleasing, and being an imposter, feeling like an imposter, or having imposter syndrome all kind of go hand in hand in this cycle of, if I procrastinate and I don't produce quality work and you congratulate that work that I don't deem as qualified, then it's like I'm more of an imposter than I think I am. And that all made so much sense to me. I don't know if it's making sense to you, but it made so much sense to me. And the reason why people pleasers and imposters procrastinate is because of fear. For me, I can identify that fear of, which is, it's something that I am coming out of. Like, I don't care that much anymore, but when I do things, I want it to be done and executed properly and in a fashion in which I would approve of, which is, I'm an ex-perfectionist, so when I do things, I want it to be perfect, but then I stress myself out so much, so trying to make it perfect that I don't want to do it anymore, technically. So it's the fear of not being, or the fear of me not being able to do things perfectly. I procrastinate because there are things that I just really don't want to do. Like, I like doing certain things, but there's some things that I don't want to do, and it's just part of being an adult. I don't procrastinate to the point where it becomes a problem, per se, like passing due dates or things like that. Sometimes I do, I'm not gonna lie to you, but not all the time. It's not a common thing, but there's things that I do procrastinate on that it's just like, I don't want to do it because it's not fun, and some things are uncomfortable. Procrastination can be rooted in fear. It can be the fear of failure, and sometimes it can be the fear of success. Self-sabotage is real. Just gonna put that out there. And like I said, the fear of not being perfect, especially if you're a perfectionist, you want things to be perfect, but it kind of doesn't make sense. If you want things to be perfect, then you should work in advance, but you stretch yourself out so much that you put it off until the end, and then it's not gonna be exactly perfect. But then sometimes you're able to make it perfect, which is like, okay, my procrastination isn't the worst thing ever because I'm able to make it perfect, but at the same time, I don't want to be stressing about every single thing like that, jam-packed at the end of, or I guess right before something needs to be done. So I find myself beating myself up a lot about that, because it's just like, you have enough sense to, one thing let me not forget, experts say that procrastination isn't a time management problem. They say it's fear as well. But anywho, I get upset with myself because I have enough sense to know and acknowledge that I procrastinate. I take the steps before. If I know something, I need to do something by a certain time, I make sure I outline, this has to be done by this week, this has to be done by this week, next week, blah, blah, blah. Time it out perfectly and do none of it. And then while it's happening, I'm like, it's fine. I can do the 2 things next week, even though I'm supposed to break it up this week and next week. And it just trickles on down to me being stressed, and in that moment of being stressed, I'm like, I hate this, I'm never going to do this again, and repeat the cycle. So I think that for you and I, if you identify with what I'm saying to you and to all the listeners in the United States of America, maybe next time I'm not going to be hard on myself, not gonna be upset, because I'm just like, you're something else. You're something else, self, for knowing what you got to do and not doing it. But I really just be like, so upset with myself, because it could have been another way. I could have went at it with no stress, but no, you decide the violent route. You decide stress, anxiety, all the things, all while still being a perfectionist. That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. Although things don't have to be perfect for me nowadays, I'm kind of getting out of that. I still want things to be a certain way. I think that's different. I don't need things to be perfect, but I need to be a certain way. Next time, I'm going to try to not be hard on myself, and I encourage you to not be hard on yourself. Because what does it help? Because it's not really helping the cycle at all. But I want to jump back into that imposter part, because it's like a lot of people that are smart and or intelligent find themselves in those kind of shoes, because it's like, I struggled and scrambled and I already felt like I wasn't enough before I did this thing, and you think it's the most amazing thing in the world. Now I'm confused, because like, are your standards not where they need to be, or is it really that good? But why is it that good if I barely wanted to turn it in? So it's like, something seems fishy here. I already feel like I don't belong here, but thank you. I don't know. Y'all just don't know something. Y'all just don't know something about me yet. You're going to find out, and then you're going to fire me or whatever, unfriend me, or whatever kind of situation that you're in. But that cycle is going to be never ending. I don't know how to stop it, because, I mean, even if you don't procrastinate, and you're the person that wants things to be perfect, and I guess you're hard on yourself, maybe you just got to stop being hard on yourself. If you're that person that is hard on yourself, and you did take your time and you didn't procrastinate, and you still felt like your stuff wasn't good enough and it still was good, I mean, that does make the cycle continue, right? Because I don't think all people that have imposter syndrome procrastinate, do they? Before I find out, for me, it just feels off-putting, because it's not like these are things that I don't care about. The things that I do procrastinate on, I do care about them. It's just like, I get so caught up into being distracted that I would prefer to be distracted versus to not be distracted. And I'm kind of easily distracted, so it's like, but I could understand if it was something that I didn't care about. So it's like, I don't care, like whatever, it can go to the wayside. But most things that I do care about. It's just I don't care about doing the beginner steps as much. And I get on my own nerves a lot for something like that. Like, I was just thinking about that in my head. Like, I was in the shower, like, I make all these steps, I plan it all out, and I don't do the steps. I just scramble it all at the end. And like I said, it's not for everything. Certain things you can just do right then and there, but other things that you got to plan for, it's just like, I could do all the research and get stressed out and then wait to plan it all. And it's just like, people with imposter syndrome are highly competent and capable and produce great work even when it's not their best. So maybe imposter syndrome, it goes hand in hand. The stress of not living up to the expectations of people around you. So, yeah, procrastination and imposter syndrome go hand in hand. So imposter sufferers procrastinate because they have that fear of being a failure, and how our worth is based on what we can do, what we can produce. So that fear is kind of making us still in the moment and trying to avoid being judged in that way, even though we know that the deadline is coming, we're going to have to do it, has to get done. But we don't want to put our stress, we are avoiding that stress of having to be perfect, of having to worry about like how others will take this, how this will be, or like how well I'll do. How does that show up for how I see my worth? And then when you do procrastinate and you do things at the last minute and it produces beautiful work, it's a shock because everyone's congratulating you, but you can't receive those compliments because you don't see that work as what they say it is. You're not telling yourself that you were worth it, even though you're not telling yourself that you did a good job because you didn't do the best that you know you could do, but you avoided doing the best that you could do. It don't make no sense, bro. It does not make any sense. But it makes sense as to why you can't receive those compliments. You can't receive all those things. Most imposters don't speak up about them feeling like imposters, because if you speak on feeling like an imposter, then people are going to look at you like an imposter. And you don't want people looking at you like you're an imposter. But if you ever notice, imposters can't really receive compliments well. And it's kind of weird for them because it's like, I could have did better. Oh, this is garbage. Oh, this is that. So it makes sense as to why that loop just continues, because it's the fear of failing. And then when you don't fail, you're shocked that you didn't fail, because it's like, I should have failed because I didn't put that much effort into this and everyone likes this. I'm confused. Like, I shouldn't be in this space. I don't think I belong here because I don't feel like I'm working to my capability. It's just a lot of self-doubt in the imposter's head when it's like, people can even do half of what you do. So to you, the imposter that's out there that's like me, there's a lot of people that can't do what you do. You feel like you don't belong. You feel like you can't do this. You feel like you can't do that. But you can, and you can do it well. Whenever you feel like you can't do something, that's when you know you can do it. That's when you should know. Because these people that are out here, that are confident that they can rap, these people that are confident that they can do all these things, when you look at them, it's like, maybe they should quit. Yeah. Just pay attention to people. All these rappers, I'm sorry for coming at my community, I guess, but all these rappers that know they gonna make it, they can do it, they can rap, oh, they finna be working with who, this, that, it's like, you listen to their music and it's like, no, you can't rap, but they're confident. Now here you are like, oh, I can't do this, whatever your thing is that you're doing, oh, I can't do this, like, I'm not really good at this. No, you're just judging yourself way too hardly or harshly. You a beast. You a beast, but I need you to believe it. You're not going to believe what I say to you because you feel like you're an imposter. And me complimenting you is going to make you feel like even more of an imposter. I don't know how to help you. You got to believe and stop doubting yourself. And even in your feelings of being an imposter, don't be too harsh on yourself for your procrastination, okay? You're not lazy. You're not a bum. You're just a little scared, and that's okay. And you're avoiding stuff. We're going to make it. We're going to get through. We're going to figure out how to not avoid certain things, because there's consequences, and we say, okay, I know there's consequences, and then we hit them same consequences every time. I don't like this imposter. I don't like being an imposter. But I remember this starting very young for me, just waiting to the last minute to do things in high school, staying up to like 4 in the morning, and I got to wake up. Well, for high school, I had to wake up at 5 o'clock, waiting to the last minute and doing a whole entire project by myself in the middle of the night, going to sleep 3, 4 in the morning, waking up at 5 to get on a bus for high school and doing well. So it's like, in a way, like procrastination has never failed me. But at the same time, it's like, I just don't like that feeling of being sick or like feeling sick and tired and groggy and nauseous and anxious and stressed. It's like, that's too many feelings to have. And thankfully, I haven't really been that bad. But sometimes it can get there. Not overnight though, but I haven't been that bad, but it can get close or near to that. And things have been better, but I do remember that starting very, 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 very early for me. So, I mean, I'm not going to be hard on myself on like, going on the opposite end of this spectrum. But at the same time, I just want to say to you, if you just like me, I'm explaining it how our childhood shaped how we are in so many ways. And I think I'm going to go into I'm going to save what I have to say next for next week's video, because that'll make this video too long. I don't even know how long I've been talking, over 30 minutes. So I think that's all. I just wanted to rip myself to shreds out loud, not really for like me to just like do it publicly, but to see if there's anyone out there that can relate, and so for you to feel like you're not alone, like you're not alone in any part of this journey that you're going through. It's normal, it's a cycle, and we don't ask to be like this, but we are like this because things happen to us, and it is what it is, because at this point you got to live with it and, fix certain things that are not detrimental to your well-being and the health or the quality of your life. And here I am helping you acknowledge those things and to figure out, how we can get past this. So I think that for me to not beat myself up and call myself an idiot for doing all those steps and not following them, and I guess for another set or phase of self-discipline for myself in that area, to just do it, not literally like get it done, but like just start it at least. Because I feel like just doing it is not that helpful for someone that is procrastinating for a certain reason. So just getting started on the things that I need to do in the time frame that I need to do it, so that I won't be late and scrambling around, will be my next steps. For you, figure out why you've been procrastinating. Your reason can be different from mine, but I'm willing to guarantee it's from your childhood. So for me, it's being a people pleaser and being an imposter, or feeling like an imposter based off of my people pleasing. Because I had to, in order to become a people pleaser, I had to continue to do good things that would allow me to feel that love or feel that applause from the people that were around me, and which is me doing things that they would deem as good, which is stressful when you become an adult, because it's like you can't people please for every single body, even though you try to, and you get burnt out. And then when you're burnt out, you're still trying to produce things, and you think everything's terrible because you're only seeing life through a lens of trying to please everybody else and not pleasing yourself, which isn't a great lens. But people think you're producing great things, and people think that you're doing a great job. But it's like, I'm not doing a great job, because honestly, I'm not doing things that in a way that I would want to do for me and how I would like them to be done. And then I'm not producing the kind of work that I would like to produce because I am stressing out over everything. So I can't really take your compliment, because I'm too far into this to even see a slither of positivity for myself. Okay? Grateful that I'm not there anymore. Grateful that I can compliment myself and big up myself and take compliments from others and see my work as what it is. And I guess from what everyone else can see, like seeing the quality and appreciating what I do versus downplaying it and talking down about it and like, oh, that's not the best I could do. Like, that's the best I could do with that time I had, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're not there yet, whew, that was a mouthful. But if you're not there yet, I would say start with just being kind to yourself. Like, you're doing the best that you can. If you're a people pleaser, you're just doing what you know how to do. Now, breaking out of that is a hard thing to do because you've been doing this or doing life this way for so long. You have to be kind with yourself when you slip back into those people pleasing tendencies. I don't think any kind of negative approach when it comes to yourself is constructive. I don't think it helps you. I think it just allows you to keep going back into that cycle of deprivation. It allows you to keep going into that cycle, and it doesn't allow your body to learn anything. Because we're all human and we deserve to be kind and soft and gentle with ourselves. And I feel like that's how everyone really learns. Nobody learns by just yelling. People learn by speaking and explaining. So you speak about, something that you're disappointed about. You explain to yourself, like, this is why I'm disappointed. How could you have done it better? You have conversation with yourself. Literally, that's what you do. Versus like, you're so stupid. Why would you do that? You know this, you know that. Like, that's not very constructive. Let's be constructive with ourselves. And then you'll eventually get there. Slowly but surely, you're going to get there. It's not a race. It's not going to happen quickly, but it will happen for you. And I hope or wish you the best on your journey. And that is it for this episode. So I hope this episode was great for you. I hope it spoke to your mind, heart, body, and soul. More than likely, hopefully your soul, because this is Soulevision. I've been your host, Ashley Dukes. And until next time.